Now, a lot of the
Yeah.
moon.
What questions do you? Yeah,
Well,
I
I
want
have
to.
I have a few. I just
Yeah.
want to intro to what you're talking about here, because to some people, like some people might just be like, well, hold on, what's I don't even know
Yeah.
where to, because a lot of people, especially on the internet, are used to going, did we go or did we not?
Yeah.
That's where
That's
we're at right
exactly
now.
what I wanted to avoid. Yeah. Exactly.
Zero binary, one binary
Uh
is
huh.
just zero is no, one is yes, right? Like it's like that's how we're
Yeah.
at, algorithmic, just where it's at. Now, you've taken it a step further where and I do like this being the binary is okay, maybe we went, the footage is completely fake, so
Yeah.
whatever the press release of the moon landing and the production of the moon landing is
Footage
completely fake.
guaranteed to be fake. Oh, no, no, that's the absolute certainty. Like that's
Yeah,
that.
that's a fact.
Yeah.
That is. I mean, don't ask me for a source. I don't care. Just
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at it. Like
Exactly.
it's retarded. Watch THX 1138. By the way, the special effects are unbelievable. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that was 2 years after. All right, we had the tools to fake it.
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, no, this shit looks crazy. I'm like, this
Yeah.
and all the Kubrick stuff. So I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Everybody had that special military bag like ready to go when they needed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that one, and then there's or we didn't go. Those are the two options, in my opinion, right? I don't think the party line, because what you've done in this piece is that when people talk about the origin of the moon, right? Because not a lot of people talk about, well, what is the moon? Like what are we even trying to get to? What did we go to in 1969 that we failed to return to? What exactly did we do? And why is it that we only see one in the sky?
Yeah.
Why is it that this and that? And what you got into is the fact that when you look at, if you ask a scientist to walk the party line, and I'd love to talk to somebody who kind of believes the party line of like what the moon actually is. When you talk to those people, it's really a lot of coincidence, a lot of missing links, like evolution. You know what I mean? A lot of things where it's like, oh, we'll get some data. We just need 97 billion more dollars, and then we might be able to do a few more fake launches that don't work, and then we'll figure out what the moon is. But you have got so first off, describe your theory of, and it's not necessarily yours. You're paraphrasing what other people are saying, but what is the moon?
Well, yeah. So I got definitely a few years back, definitely before I even cared about the like the moon landing or anything like that. I was getting into all these. Well, I always loved reading old scientists' editorializations of like, during the Oppenheimer era and like atomic bomb, and because those guys were like, you could love them or critique them or whatever. But one thing that they had in spades was way more. It was like it was weird because it was like the 40s and 50s, a time usually associated with closed to ideas. That's the whole leftist thing. Well, in the 50s, that no one thought about anything. It was all like, color TV. What? But like back then, the scientists were like way more open-minded, and they would talk about philosophy and like weird shit, and kind of be like, and they would leave the mystery in, and they wouldn't
who were some of these people that really kind of, well, we don't know, man. Like, who are those scientists? Like, what could be this, could be that. Who's
the guy that worked? There's one that Latham is a good. He worked with Oppenheimer and all the atomic bomb guys, and was friends with Einstein. And he was just like a quiet, chill dude, and he was coming up with some weird theories about consciousness. There's one in particular. We should do a whole series on him. His name's escaping me. But generally, like all the quantum physics guys, because Einstein did general relativity, and no one believed that was true. It was proved using the moon. They used the moon they used the moon during a solar eclipse to look at light passing, bending past the sun, in ways that shouldn't happen if relativity wasn't true. So that's what made Einstein an overnight superstar, was once that shit was proven to be true. Experimentally at least. And then, the quantum stuff, now people will say, like the Sam Harris types will say, I'm getting a little off track, but they'll be like, oh yeah, people always misuse quantum in a woo-woo way. They say it has to do with, like law of attraction and consciousness and stuff. And it's like, A, it fucking does. All right. And B, the people that invented quantum mechanics and discovered that shit, they were talking about it back then way more openly about like, what does this mean for human consciousness? What does this mean for, and same thing with the moon, where, and that's what got me. I would see all these quotes from like these kind of famous scientists or Isaac Asimov, the science fiction writer, where they'd be like, yeah, we don't fucking know what's up with the moon, And
Yeah.
then something shifted. Nothing really changed in the science. No big discoveries were made, no big like, oh, we figured it out. But for some reason, everyone coalesced around the exact same theory of how the moon was formed, and completely ignored all the fantasy and all the mystery that all the earlier scientists had alluded to, and then it all became Sam Harris or Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it just became spent in sand. Oh yeah, like a Mars-sized object collided into Earth in the early days, spun everything around, and that moon formed from that dust. That basically. Now, I'm not saying that couldn't have happened, but it's not likely, and it's not. It's not.
Why is that the default, by the way?
I
Just
don't know. I
yeah,
think
like
it's the
what?
most.
It's the kind of like, some shit hit some shit, dude. Like
Yeah,
trust me.
exactly. It's just the most normie kind of
Um,
thing, and it's just the it's like the lowest hanging fruit, And like I said, nothing new really was discovered or any, you know what I mean? It's just they have all these, and again, they do all these computer. Oh, check out this computer model for how we collided two objects on a computer, and it looks just like the Earth and the moon. Bullshit like that. Computer models, red flag, right? But pardon me. But yeah, so I got into just all these questions. I was like, whoa, these guys are talking about the moon like it's some like crazy thing that I'd never heard of. And then I was like, then I got into why they thought that way. And yeah, it just does none of the theories really make sense. They're all just hand waving a lot of stuff away, explaining it away. And then I read that PDF by Fred Cameron, Our Impossible Earth and Moon. And I realized that can be kind of hard to find online. We need just like that. We need to get our website up so we can just post like PDFs.
yeah, I
for
want
people to
Art Bell.
download
No,
and
I
shit.
literally want the Art Bell curation website where it's
Yeah.
like, hey, look at this cool thing I found.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like
the Art Bell.
GeoCities vibe, yeah,
all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
just a real old school, early internet looking website.
yeah. And then so then I read the Fred Cameron thing.
Somebody
just
help
a
us
short-
with that. Somebody help. I know some of you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
are really good with this. Don't make me go to Chat GPT.
I know,
Just
yeah, I
fucking,
was
like,
gonna say, yeah,
I
we
would
could-
love to have it in house. Or if you guys
Yeah.
know, like if you guys could understand what I'm saying, like hit me up. Like, you know what I mean? You guys know where to find us. Yeah.
But yeah, so then I read that, and it's like a 13-page PDF, and it talks about all these weird anomalies with, well, there's like the more acceptable side of it, and then there's the crazy side that most people won't believe, which is like why all these numbers match up with like, degrees Kelvin, absolute zero, gestation rates, all these different weird, distance in miles, stuff like that. That's kind of the more like, whoa, like what the fuck is going on? But the indisputable stuff, the geometry of the Earth and the moon, where if you bring the moon to the Earth, like two marbles touching each other, then you rotate the moon around the surface of the Earth. The center of the moon, the circle that draws, is the exact same length as a square box you draw around the Earth, if you're looking at it from like a bird's eye perspective. And just there are some people that are going to say like that might be a consequence of natural physical laws of physics and gravitational rates and constants and certain mathematical. It just might be a mathematical epiphenomenon. But my whole thing is, why isn't that anywhere else in the cosmos or in our solar system, where like that's the other thing. Our moon is very unique for it's like too big compared to the size of the Earth. It's like it's an even anomaly in that way. So there's all these like geometric things encoded into the Earth and the moon. Again, it's the same size as the sun in the sky, more or less. Like it's like, and then the people always get like, like the Tysons always get like, well, it's not exactly the same size, and that's what Fred Cameron says in this piece. He's just like, shut up. It's close enough to where it could be pointing. Someone's pointing us. There's something. Someone's trying to get us to see something, right? It's like pattern recognition. We're trying to, we can either pretend that it doesn't exist to satisfy our dogma, or we could just humble ourselves and ask, why are these things matching up the way they do?
Yeah, and I guess since I think that adequately nudges the science. I fucking love science crowd a little bit. But now,
Yeah.
what if I were to say like, okay, fine, yeah, God made the moon.
Yeah. So that's the thing is like it could either be
Like, do you think it's
um
more than that? Like, what? Because obviously the moon would have some kind of purpose. There's people that believe, and
yeah,
I'd like to talk to somebody about this, a woman probably, but
yeah,
like where it's like, okay, the moon affects certain behaviors. There's a lot of certain things. Like
yeah,
everybody's worried about what they're this moon and this and that. Like, there's obviously something
yeah.
with the moon. I'm
Titties. Yep.
sure,
Yeah.
exactly. There's obviously some kind of thing with the moon that a lot of people like, moon dancing. You have like those old
Yep.
tribal cultures that would like, there's obviously something with it.
Yep.
Now, I don't even think people that are like, oh yeah, God made the moon. I don't think a lot of them believe that. I could be wrong. A lot of them believe that the moon actually does anything though, besides just like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So the whole I don't know where I stand on that. I definitely think there's because there's like the materialist fight the man in the sky religious people, right? Though they're obviously both wrong in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then there's like the ancient aliens type theory that says every mystical thing is just super advanced aliens from the future or from a future uh that come and act like gods. So it could be a Death Star alien thing for sure. And I think there is a lot of anecdote and like yeah, anecdotes, I guess, of people tuning into bases on the moon, dark side of the moon, like it's like a landing post for UFOs or whatever.
Mm.
But yeah, it absolutely could come.
Like an
I believe.
Amazon, like the Amazon hub or something,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Amazon
Yeah,
fulfillment center.
they
Yeah.
got those new gay trucks, so they're those
Yeah.
vans, those fucking ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they got
yeah,
like the fuel station. Be like, hey, do you think I can push it enough to make it to the moon? Because I gotta get to Earth later.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, back and forth. Yeah,
gotcha.
but to answer, did God make the moon? I mean, I definitely believe in a reality where it's not just billiard balls bouncing around each other. There very well could be a more metaphysical. Obviously, Earth is a special place where human consciousness is evolving, and it appears to be the only place in our solar system right now where that's happening. And so I'm just saying it could be a cultivated space corner of the universe, and the moon plays a big part of that, in protecting the Earth and making the tides go, and just the energetics, the woo woo of it, being like the shadow realm and the polar opposite of the sun, and so yeah, I firmly believe there could definitely be some totally inexplicable non-alien intervention thing that just came about.